Hello, this is Don Tegeler. I'm the current Vice President of the Clinton Fine Arts Association. I'm here talking with Dr. Andrew last. We're going to talk a little bit about the importance of music education for our kids in school. How you doing?
Just fine. Thanks for the invitation.
You're assistant professor of music at Luther. How about what else are you involved in? What are you doing right?
Yeah, so most of my job is teaching during the day and conduct two of the ensembles up at Luther. The first year men's chorus, about 90 men, all in their first year at Luther. And then also I conduct the juniors and seniors in the collegiate chorale, SATB chorus of about 105 voices. So do a little bit of teaching of voice and teach both the introduction and the advanced sections of choral conducting. So
great.
Keep myself pretty busy.
Sure. How did your experiences while attending school in Clinton help shape the future of you as a music educator?
Yeah, I mean, I look back at my time growing up here in Clinton, and I think we were just so spoiled. Great teachers, great opportunities in all areas, whether that be theater, whether that be choir, whether that be the instrumental side of music. There was just endless opportunities for us to get involved. And I don't know that I ever, saw myself being a music teacher for the rest of my life when I was a 7th grader or an 8th grader. But certainly those things and those opportunities that I had played a part in my future career. And when I was teaching high school for the first 15 years of my career, you can absolutely know that what I modeled my programs were, my high school programs were based upon my growing up in Clinton. I knew what worked. I knew what music education things were going to be successful in the classroom, and just had almost an easier time transitioning into my own classroom. So I feel pretty spoiled.
So the music education was very important.
It was. It's absolutely.
Your career.
Yeah. I mean, I go on and have probably done clinics in half a dozen states. Have done festivals, have done graduate work, and everywhere I go, I can drop the name of John DeHaan, and everybody knows who that is.
Sure.
And I don't know that at the time that I was here, I realized what a big name he was. I remember one time doing a voice master class when I was at Luther as an undergraduate, and I got to do a master class with Cheryl Milnes, the famous baritone opera baritone, and he said, where'd you grow up? And I said, Clinton. He said, John DeHaan. And he said, was a classmate of mine at Drake. And at that point I thought, boy, we didn't know what we had.
We have our own legend here.
We do.
Yeah.
We did have a legend here. So
that's great. So let's talk a little bit about our students now, our current students, and how important you think it is for them to have a solid music education.
Yeah. I happened to do a festival yesterday, which involved grades, I think, 3 through 12. And the inspiring thing to me all day yesterday was just seeing the enthusiasm and the passion that still exists in this school. And to see kids from 3rd grade all the way to 12th grade that just have such a wonderful desire to still remain singing makes somebody like me and an older guy like me just get really excited about what's still going on here. And the teaching's great, and I think it's so important to keep these kids involved. I mean, I think probably since when I was here, maybe the demographics of Clinton have changed a little bit, but we still owe them a great music education. And in my teaching career, I taught small town Iowa. I taught, pretty nice sized town in Iowa. And I felt like that we owed these students, no matter what district they come from, the best that we can possibly give them in music education. Opportunity, great literature choices. And I think that we just have an obligation as educators to do that.
That's great. There's a lot of studies out there that show how music in the kids' school helps them in other areas too. Do you have any experience, at least personal experience of that yourself, or have you seen that in your students that you teach?
Absolutely. Always, the people who are involved with music have a couple of advantages. One, academics, and part of that is there's just some correlation between music, especially math and sciences. But there's also a correlation with the humanities courses, the Englishes, because it tends to be that the music folks tend to be a little bit more articulate in describing music, and so they have those skills to do. I also think that there's an added element of teamwork that's involved that you don't always see in students who are not involved in the arts, probably similar to what you would see in sporting teams, but they learn how to work together, common goal, and I think that's a really strong thing as well. I think the thing that I noticed, especially at the high school level, is that if you're involved with extra things such as music, maybe you add a theater thing, maybe you add a band thing, you are forced to then make choices about organizing yourself, getting life organized. And that skill is invaluable, especially when you're going off to college and mom and dad aren't there to help kind of remind you of scheduling
Absolutely.
things. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
Life skills.
Absolutely. You've had plenty of opportunity to perform in numerous venues, I assume. How important is a great facility for these kids and for even what you did to be successful in any kind of music or arts career?
I think if we talk and say we find that the arts are valuable and yet we don't provide the venue in which to do it, we're really not doing it. It would be like saying to the basketball team, we want to have a really successful basketball team, but we're going to make you practice in a warehouse. That doesn't make any sense. And I think the same thing applies here. If we want to have strong programs in theater, in instrumental music, in choral music, part of that genre is to create a space in which we can provide great performances. And a gymnasium's not going to do it. You need the chance for a theater production to have places to put a set. You need a place for a choral concert to have a full set of risers to be put up. For a band concert, you need to be able to have all of your sections on the same level. Those are crucial elements, and to think that we can somehow substitute with another kind of an area to get by, to me, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So our task here as Clinton Fine Arts Association to raise money to build an auditorium, that's a pretty important job in your mind. Would you say that?
Absolutely. I think I would hate to come back in another 10 years and see there not be something available. I think that needs to be kind of a priority. And the longer that we wait to do it, I think the more opportunities for students to not be inspired to do it exist. So I feel like it needs to be done now, and it needs to be done fast.
I think that's great. Yeah. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, privilege.